important to only just put enough mud on your caulk that you can control so it doesn't slide all over the place and like make a huge mess. So I'm gonna move right over here now. Give it a little shake, it's stuck. I can turn it upside down. And again, we're dealing with the corner here. So I'm gonna just come up here and we're gonna work ourselves out of the corner here. Now there's an area here where there's a lot, so I'm gonna just paste it like that there. Okay. Clean that off there. I'm gonna reorganize this here. Give it a little shake. Move over here. Now, this technique here, where I have it on like the backhand, and I put my shoulder up or my hand up here, and I press it, and my shoulder is basically fixed. I'm basically moving my body, not my deltoid. So it's going to save your shoulders a lot if you use your body to press the mud rather than just using your arm or your shoulder. Because if you do a lot of this a day, your shoulders start to hurt. So it's important to use skill and not your muscles. And again, I'm just doing a little flick of the wrist to get it in the corner there. It's gonna come out like that. And that takes care of that there. I'm gonna clean this off here, reorganize that there, put it to a ball, and load up right there. The hardest thing to do is to work yourself out of the corner here. So now that we're over here, I have it all loaded. There's a part right here and then right there. So I'm just going to add it like that there. So now once you have that section done, it wouldn't make any sense to come into it there because it's going to create a line. So what we're going to do is put it on the backhand and come into what we just did so we don't get any lines. Okay, so this is very important to come into what you did, not to start in what you did. So we're starting away and we're going in there. Okay. Now when you go this way, it's going to cause some unevenness there. That's perfectly fine. Just I'll leave that because this is the first coat and you're never going to make that perfectly smooth there. So again here, come out of the corner here. Okay, so I'm going to clean off the trowel there. And now load up on the backhand. Clean this off here, come back into it there. Clean your trowel off and come into it. And that leaves that there. Clean that off. So that's there. Now we're going to reload up there. Now this joint compound, the all-purpose stuff, it's much heavier than the lightweight stuff because it has a lot more of water in it. But I just like the way that it sticks to my caulk into my trowel, so that's why I use it. But you can use whatever mud that you like. Just be advised though that after you skim this, you have to wait till it's just completely dry until you work on top of it again. So let me organize this here. Add a little bit more here. Okay, that's gonna take care of that. Now, I have to do the same thing over here. Yeah, corners is what takes the most time, but once you get yourself out of the corners, you can just kind of go at free will. I'm going to load up the top right hand to get into that corner there. So start away from it and then come into it. Okay, now I'm going to load up in the middle there. Back a little bit, load up there. And I still have a little bit there, so I'm going to work that into the corner there. Now I'm going to clean this off here, reorganize it there, and put it to the ball and give it a little shake and it's stuck. Now I'm just going to work my way into the corner. I'm going to come back into what I did and clean off it there. Okay, so that takes care of that right there. And if you want to, and I would like to get the camera to just come up there to take a look at to see how it looks there. Now you do have these lines right here, but that's fine. Just let those dry out, and then after they dry out, just use your taping blade to shave those down. Okay, so yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna load up real quick here. And always keep the top on it, because then the air will start to dry the mud in the bucket, and you don't want that. So I'm going to take some here. See, now that we got out of the corner, now I can kind of go a lot quicker with it. So the most important thing is to place the mud down. See how this is the second swipe. So I'm just laying the mud down. I don't care if it's perfect or if there's lines or not. Just lay the mud down first, so I'm going to do it again here. And load up again in the middle there. Okay, now clean this off here, reorganize this. And I'm just going to borrow some mud here. And then work it into the corner. Skin tight. Okay, so that takes care of that. Move over here. Come to the backhand. See now, the mud has gone to the top and bottom, so you want to clean that off there. And pick it back up again in the middle of the trowel. Clean this off here. So we have this area right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load up the top of the trowel there. And now, skim tight. All that mud there, I'm going to load up again, and we're just going to work ourselves into that corner. So since we're not putting that much mud onto the hawk, yeah, you have to keep on loading up, but you're not going to make a mess, and the mud's not going to travel all over the trowel and onto the floor here. The ideal thing is to have someone loading up a different trowel for you and then giving you that so that you can continuously be applying mud to the ceiling and not having to go and load up from the bucket. Reorganize this. Corner here, I'm going to load up a little bit here, come into it here. Now another technique to use that when you're skimming is to come into it and then to do a half of a circle or a counterclockwise circle to the left, and that kind of helps get the mud off your trowel and it doesn't spill to the floor here. So I'm going to do that little wiggle to force the mud into the corner there. You have to really do that technique fast for it to work. And I'll come into it, work the trowel to my right. Clean this off here. Load up there. Okay, so some mud right there. And now you can see how it's kind of a mess, but when I come into the corner, skim hard, that'll take away all that. There's a lot of mud right there, so I'm going to get rid of this here, and I'm going to do this again. And if you ever have too much mud on there, just go back and do more swipes to get rid of it. You can see that there's a lot right there. So I'm going to do this a couple of times. That comes off there. And I'll do this one more time. Just like that right there. So I'm going to just reorganize this here. This is at a good point now where I'm gonna get rid of this mud. I'm not gonna put this mud back into that bucket because this has little popcorn stuff in it, and you don't want to contaminate that bucket with all these particles, because then when you go to use that for another project, you have all that stuff in there. So just throw whatever you have left out, and then you don't have to worry about your mud getting contaminated with any particles and stuff like that. So I'm gonna get rid of this, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean off my trowel here, and you can see how the mud starts to get on the back side and starts to dry. And then when you go to skim, all those particles, they break off and they get into your mud. So it's very important to constantly clean your materials here. So I'm gonna get these all cleaned off, and then we're just gonna do a time lapse of me finishing the ceiling. So I hope that these instructions will help you with your own skim coating needs. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.